We are back again. I've decorated pages 5 and 10. I'll show you page 10. Because they're basically the same. We have the pocket here, and then this opens up this way and this way. So you've got lots of space. You have a pocket here, and then this slips down, and you have a small waterfall here. The raspberry coloured paper on the back I actually attached with my ATG rather than the glue, because the glue takes so long to dry and it does discolour it for quite a while. Discolour the red card. The next thing I'd like to do is go back to using these A4 envelopes. Now this is an A4 piece of card, and this is an A4 envelope, and if I put that on, you can see it's about an inch larger. The envelope is about an inch larger in both directions than an A4. So what I've done now is I measured the space on the elastic. So you have to excuse this where I'm keeping all my bits and pieces. So I measured the space between the eyelets here for this piece of elastic, and I've given myself a bit of leeway, and I think I did it at 6 3/4 inches. So that's kind of the measurement I'm looking for, 6 3/4 inches. Pop that back. So I measured 6 3/4 inches and cut the top off the envelope. Now my envelopes have they're made out of one sheet, so this is the only fold and join there is this bit here. I don't know if you can actually see that. So this is the top, this is what I cut off. So it originally was 9 inches and I cut this down to 6 3/4 inches. ATG gun. Next I folded them, these envelopes in half up to where this bit comes in. So when this folds in, I folded it in half to get the centre. When I knew where the centre was, I put it up on my scoreboard, and the centre was 6 3/8. So I moved it over 1/16 of an inch. Now obviously this is in eighths, so I moved the score line 1/16 over, so the score line was in between two of the 1/8 marks. Then took my score tool and scored each side, so I have a 1/8 of an inch gusset here. My brain is not working. I then, after making sure that I have those two score lines, so you can see there's a score line in the centre where I folded it, and there's a score line, might be able to sit better on this side. There's a score line on each side of that score line, a 1/16 of an inch over each side. And then, next thing I did was I got my cloth and I rubbed off this adhesive just on the top here, and it should just rub off. And I laid my 1/8 of an inch double-sided tape in between those score lines on the inside. So now I will have, when this is stuck down, a nice, I was going to stitch this in the middle, but I couldn't find any more of my gold thread. I don't know what I've done with it. So I'm going to release that tape backing. And I did this to 4 envelopes, obviously, because there are 4 gaps. I'm going to take off that tape backing inside and then very carefully pop that down. Now I don't know if I'm going to have an extra flap on it anywhere, so I'm not actually going to stick this down permanently yet. I did cut this corner in, which is why I removed the sticky tape here, the adhesive. So I'm going to give that a really good burnish. As you can see now, I have 2 top loading pockets with a 1/8 of an inch gusset. And to reinforce that gusset, so I've got my glasses on, but I'm not seeing very well, so excuse if I get my head in the way. And that side. I'm just reinforcing those score lines so that I know exactly where they are and it's easy to fold. And then I'm simply going to fold the envelope on each of those score lines. So I do have now this, so it's actually showing the gusset in between there now. You can see that little bit of a gusset there, and that's the base of the envelope minis. Now I was going to use the one that I had done already, but decided that I wanted something a bit more simple. I didn't want anything too bulky in between the pages, because obviously you want room for photographs. So make sure that these score lines are really good, and of course if you're really lucky you would put the tape on really well and they will both be exactly in the centre. So if you want to use slightly thinner score tape, or if you'd rather use glue, that would work too. So once again, all I'm doing is I'm folding the envelopes on each side of that score tape in the centre. Score tape, double-sided tape. Which would be good if I'd actually bothered to stick this one down. Okay. So once again, I'll release the tape back in, so as you can see I've put it straight down in the centre, and then take off the tape backing. There we go. And when you fold up the envelope, remember to keep the pages even. So you keep it level top and bottom, and that way your score line will be straight. So that side and this side. And that's it. That's all there is to this piece. And then I'm going to go through my paper. I'm going to do it to all 4 of these, and then I'll be back to carry on and see what else we're going to do with these little flaps. I think I know what I'm going to do with the rest of the envelopes. So these are C5 envelopes. You could use the C4 ones. So once again, they are for A5 paper. So these are 9 inches by 6 7/8. So I've turned them over. This is the flap that opens. And I've just gone on and I've cut them down at 6 3/4. Then, after I've cut them down, I've peeled back. Okay, do it this way. After I've cut them down, I lay them across and I've scored them at 6. So I've got a tiny little bit there. And what I've done is on this bit where it's, which is this bit here, where I've got this 1/4 inch score line, I've just peeled this back, cut it into that 1/4 inch, so it was cut up to that 1/4 inch, peel this back and then miter it in again. Only has to be done roughly, it's just to make it slightly more neat, which is what I've done to these. So these are all now ready. Let's do that again quick. Okay, so they've got the bit at the top I've cut it off and a small flap here. With the main, and I've done that 4 times, I did, because there are 4 inserts. With the main bits that I started off with, all I've done is taken this tiny piece of card, and it's that raspberry card that I had that I'm using inside the album, and measured it to slightly under 6 3/4 and 1/8 inch, and then just stuck that in the gusset line there, and that just gives that a little bit of extra strength so the gusset doesn't collapse. Okay, and these flaps here are going to go inside just here. Now they should fit with a nice gap here, so it's not going to interfere with closing. Now I was going to have a flap each side, then I changed my mind. Because I'm a woman and that's what we do. No, because I didn't want to put too much bulk on the inside or the outside. And I was going to use some card to make a small pocket on the outside, and then I had another thought. We have these strips left over from when I cut the tops off of these envelopes. So this is this bit here. This bit that I cut off. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take this bit, I'm going to cut it about 1 inch or just under 1 inch. Oh, good grief, it's 1 inch. Past that score line, so past the halfway mark. Then open up this bit and just past the score line there, I'm going to cut this off like that, and then I'm going to miter that bit there. Then what I'm going to do is I'm going to take this in slightly, so I'm using maybe 1/16 inch off the edge here. So I'm pulling this flap forward so that I lose 1/16 inch, which is why you cut this slightly in. Then I'm going to glue down very roughly this bit here. Oh, I also glued down this just on the edge here because I didn't want it to interfere too much. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to go all over the back. And I'm going to pop this on the front at the bottom. So now I have a small pocket here, which is just a small pocket. It's not going to be a very big pocket. It's just to sort of like slip a couple of things in. And then you open it up, and I'm going to put this tag on here, and this one, might as well use this extra glue that I got stuck on my finger. Just going to line up against this edge. If you want to fold it over on the outside, that's an idea, but I am just going to pop it down this way. Now as you can see, this is slightly off. I cut this slightly so it's sticking over, but that's not a problem. I can just come along and trim that. So make sure it's level at the bottom. And I'm just going to very carefully, and if you're confident doing it with scissors, then do so. I'm just going to trim that so that it's level. And if you want to put a magnet in there, you could do. I don't think I'm going to bother. I don't think. Or I could. Oh no, because it's going to stay closed, so it doesn't really need anything. So you've got all this extra space, and what I am also going to do, whilst I remember, is going to go here, and on that score line there, just at the top here, I'm going to seal it with a little bit of glue, or else when this flap is open and you've got something in the pocket, if it slips over, you may bend it or crush it when you try to close the page again. Time to get a new glue pot, I think. There we go. I decided also, because this is these envelopes are 150 GSM envelopes. Once again, I don't know what that is in pounds, but that's the weight of the cardstock, and because of that I'm not going to cut any fancy edges in. If I make a large tag here with a flap on it, I might do a nice edge to it, but for the actual these bits here, I'm not going to add anything else. This is just going to be decorated with paper, and that is it. 1, 2, 3, 4. Got 3 more of those, and 1, 2, 3 more of the little pockets to make up at the front. So I am now going to get these put together so they're all the same as this one, with a small pocket and open and flap, and then I will be back again to carry on and get these sorted and also put the pages back into the album. The inserts have not been decorated. I was thinking of decorating them with the can find it. The 8x8 paper pad. But I want to coordinate the pattern paper with the papers that the pages that they're closest to. So what I'm first going to have to do is put the pages in to the album. And I wanted to do this last because I wanted to make sure that the last page went in first. So let's move all these out of the way. So I'm going to start with the back page, which is this one. So this is pages 9 and 10. I always find this bit so difficult. I think it's quite nerve-wracking when you've done all these pages and then you finally put them in. Now, do I want to mitre these edges? Yes, I do believe I do. Remember, when you mitre them, do not mitre your gusset. Oh, crikey, that's hard. Let's take my ring off. And also this side. That's my workout for the day. Right, page ready. The reason why I'm starting from the back is because I know these pages don't have much give between top and bottom. They've got a fair bit of give on the side, so you've got a nice gap at the side, but top and bottom it's going to be tight. So I'm going to start with the back because that's going to be the easiest side to gauge where these are going. And I want some glue. I think I'm going to use this one. Okay. Oh, that was nice and runny. Very unexpectedly runny. Now these pages are so thick, but I have to make sure that I get them level. So I'm trying not to get my head in the way. I don't want to go over that that 1/4 of an inch score line, and I want to keep these level so that they don't obviously go crooked, so they have to stay straight here. And I think that's pretty good. Let's just check this side quick. That was good until I moved it. Right. Okay, what did I do with it this time? I am so disorganised. What did I do with my pokey tool? And I can't find my other pokey tool. That's ridiculous. Oh, there it is, rolled under there. Okay, so that's the first one back page down. I'm going to release this one and this one. And then hasn't gone quite over enough, I don't think. As well. No, can't remember how I constructed my pages, look. Okay, I think that will do it. It's not as far in as I would like it to be, but I'm pretty sure that's going to stick. And it's not going over the edge here. And it's not going over the edge here. So next page is 8, 7 and 8. And these, I do believe, go this way. No, that doesn't look right to me. Okay. 1 and 2, which is that one. 3, so that's 8. No, 1, 2, that's 3, 5, so that is 8. So that is right, that goes that way. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 and 8. Make sure that it's the right way up. Now this was going to be quite difficult because obviously I do have a lot of bulk here. So release this tape backing. Now, because of the glue slipping and sliding, I might not add glue again. And be very brave and just pop that down. And maybe I shouldn't have been that brave. Okay, that's good. So that should lay on top of that one beautifully, and it does. So I'm going to put on the rest of these, and then in the next video I will be choosing my decoration for the inserts, and also decorating these bits here. Okay, so I'm going to leave that there. I shall do the last 3 because I will be getting my head in the way. So this is the way we're going, and obviously we have the inserts go in here. Like so. So you see quite a nice amount of room there, and they shouldn't get in the way too much, and they don't. There's still plenty of room. And I just thought that would be like, I mean, you could slip Christmas cards and all sorts in there, but you can also use the pockets at the top here. So that's how it's going. So I'll be back in the next video, as I said, to decorate these and also these bits here. How I'm going to decorate them, I'm not too sure yet. I haven't decided. I'm doing this all on the fly from now on. It's just, yeah. It's what have I got in my stash, what can I use up, and what we're going to do here. And then of course it's decorating the embellishments for the pages. So there we go. Thank you for watching. I hope that wasn't too muddled for you. And I'll be back soon. Bye for now.